been searching for so long. This place I'm in makes me feel numb. I just want to find someone. Feeling lost and out of place. Empty eyes look upon my face. Nowhere to go, nowhere to run. I just want to find someone.
Welcome back to the Mania 7K World Cup 2019. It's the last match of the semifinals. I'm Nivrad00 and with me is Juan, the ever dependable.
Hey, I am here.
Sweet.
All
so
my
am I.
music sounds. Oh man, we're back once again, boys. Although we were not supposed to be the two back here, we are. And I mean, when I knew that the other commentators might not be available for this match, I was kind of hyped up because Poland and Brazil, dude, that can be a match. That has to be a good match. CTEX, Hudenam, the Dark Dragon, Benzo against Lotus, Lazarento, Ursomaso, and Silifanger. I also have news that maybe one of the Brazilian members might be missing for this match, so it can only make things closer, honestly. I think Brazil has the upper hand on this match, but I believe it's Silifanger actually, so a pretty key piece for the roster.
We can't have Nate not showing up again.
I'm not so sure though. Here I'm seeing the chat now and it seems like there's some confirmation that he might be around after all. He might have sorted out his issues. I recall him saying something like he had like some special lunch to attend or something. But it's still like 12 p.m. for him, so might as well have enough time to play. I know it was on a dangerous scheduling, but it seems like he might be available to play. I'm not sure if all the matches or all the maps. Here we can see the bracket, how it's looking now, how much is left. This is the last match for the weekend. Poland and Brazil. United States waiting on the losers finals week 5 stage.
That's right, this match is important because it'll decide who gets the last spot in the top 6. We already have confirmed Philippines, China, USA, Korea, and Thailand, but only one of these two teams can make it to the finals.
And the finals will only get progressively hard as we are expecting with the finals to be slightly harder than last year. I'm not so sure if that is the case after all, because there has been some struggles at the very end of the map. I think nonetheless the finals will be very brutal, so these two teams today, they have to perform well if they want to have a chance on the finals. I think Brazil should be good enough to compete on the finals without many difficulties. For Poland, I want to say the same. Hudenam and the Dark Dragon are pretty insane players, and so is Benzo Tusov into the Longno picks and CTEX into the SB picks. And speaking of SBs, this is our last chance to have Hagoromo not banned, which would be pretty cool, honestly. I really want to see that map.
Definitely. I'm gonna check the statistics sheet here, but I don't think Poland banned it last time.
It was Singapore, yeah.
That's right. But unfortunately,
Brazil banned it against Chile, so...
Not to mention, this is also the last chance to see Hype. And by Hype, I mean the map, the tiebreaker. We're gonna be Hype either way, of course, but the tiebreaker would be the cherry on top.
Yeah, and I mean, I know for a fact that even when you don't expect, the last match of the weekend always goes longer than expected, just so it messes up with the sleeping patterns of whoever is in charge of those. It happens all the time. Like you're really tired, and then the last match just goes on forever.
Are you talking from experience, Juan?
Yes.
I'm so sorry. You'll be able to rest soon, because right after this is the map pool showcase, and then the stream will be over for another.
The map pool showcase, I imagine we will. I mean, at least I expect to be swapped out for the map pool show. So we will have some cool action with the last pool of the tournament. Actually, oh, look at that background! Look at that warm up.
Amazing. Baile de Favela. Great. But it's mapped by Benzopyrian.
Yeah, this is Polish warm-up. You can see by the background.
Holy
Baile
crap!
de favela. Baile de favela.
Poland came prepared for this match. And I know they're always prepared with the warm-up, but... Oh boy.
If only I knew a bit more Portuguese, I could probably keep up with the lyrics. I'm not sure if this is like lag or actually a speed. Baile de favela.
I hear them saying Baile de Favela. De Favela.
Yeah.
This is a battle cry from Poland's side.
I only can hope that Brazil did something similar. Like, it would be amazing if Brazil prepared a meme map.
Absolutely. So this is the second match that Brazil and Poland are playing this weekend. For those of you who weren't around earlier, Brazil and Poland swept their respective opponents who were from the mid-seeds. Brazil beat Chile and Poland beat Singapore, but that was just a warm-up because now the two top seeds are going face-to-face. Yeah, as one said earlier, I think Brazil is the favorite here. Poland being, this being the first year Poland has been in the top seed, and meaning that they're still on the weaker side of the rankings despite being stronger than they've ever been. Strong enough to beat Brazil? Nah, we'll have to see. I don't think it'll be a sweep. If Thailand versus Indonesia showed us anything, even if one team gets most of the points, I think Poland will at the very least be able to get close in score-wise.
There's a couple picks I think Poland could capitalize off, but now that Brazil has Nate, it's gonna be really, really tricky, honestly. But regardless of the result, this has been such a run by Poland already. Hitting top,
absolutely.
Being top seeds for the first time in history. I mean, it's a pretty good year for Poland in 7-key Mania World Cup.
Yeah, Poland had a pretty good round in round of 16. They had a really strong fight against Japan, only managing to pull through 5-3. They couldn't beat South Korea, unfortunately, which is to be expected. But they did sweep Singapore, which was... We were thinking Singapore might have something to say about that, but Poland just proved too strong. So even if they go out here, that would still be... I'd say for their country, it would be a 7K record.
Oh no. I see Venomous Firefly, and I see the name of the mapper and I get a little bit scared. And I just listen to the song.
Thanks, Auntie, says Nate.
Is this Vibro? I mean, I don't think so, honestly. But
I sure hope so, because we're not going to see Vibro in the actual map pool of the tournament.
I honestly hope that never is something that happens. Vibro is such a niche that I don't think it even deserves a map pool. Like a map in the... And it's like a niche that falls into a category that you need to be physically capable of playing it or just not able to play it at all. Like, there's no accuracy component of Vibroing for the...
Oh yeah. Definitely a contentious topic.
Mm-hmm. I like how we go from Baile de Favela to this. Like...
Yeah, Brazil's not kidding around. That's an 8.2
This is a 2-minute
star rating.
Oh sh. 8.2 stars, 264 BPM. Let's see what it has to offer.
Wow.
The difficulty is called Silly, so I imagine it's made for Nate. If we ever call Silly Fanger Nate, just know that his previous name was Nate the Roving, so that's the main reason why we and most people call Silly Fanger Nate. Also because it's his real name, I imagine, but...
Who knows? Yeah, this was made specifically for Nate because none of the other maps were hard enough to warm him up. At least that's what I suppose. It's funny, we went from Killer Wasp in the semis pool to the Venomous Firefly. Now that is just silly.
And then you had
Look
the
at those huge
dark
boards.
background. That was very bad.
Silly Fangirl is still holding a 98% on this. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's proving why he's one of the best players in the world, honestly. Hulunong, which would be the player you would expect to be the closest, is struggling really hard. To be fair, this is the map you need a proper warm-up for, and I believe Silly Fanger was streaming like a couple hours ago, so he has been playing the game for a bit, so he should be more warm-up than anybody else.
That's
But
good.
you can see the difference though, 97.6 against anyone struggling to hold into the A ranks.
Thankfully, none of the maps in this pool are quite this hard. Probably the closest it gets is Pon Pon, and even that one's...
Yeah, I don't
Maybe
think it
it's
gets
hardest.
that hard, it's just that it has some particular sections that get really crazy, but overall the map isn't that hard. Like, it's the hardest rise in the bowl, but it doesn't get any close to this, I believe.
That is the warm-up, so we'll be going straight into the rolls. The last rolls of the weekend. Better make it count. You know, I'm sure that Seal has managed a 100% ban rate on an SV map before, but I don't know which one it was.
He did it last year, I think, and he did it on the Mania 4Q World Cup on Descent. So
Descent.
yeah, he did it before.
Yeah, that one. Descent was crazy. Aggro was not quite as bad as Descent, but it still has a lot of sections that are really stressful, honestly. That's a 42 from Hudanom.
Better than Benzo. Yeah, exactly. As the Dragon mentioned, he got a 4 last time, so
Ooh, yeah, they're
he got like
they're
10 times better.
They're delegating the rolling responsibility to a different teammate.
See who gets the role in Brazil. Maybe we see joining Lotus just for the role. Maybe it will be just Silly Banger rolling, and Lazarento gets a 26. So that's gonna be first ban for the blue team, for Brazil, for the South Americans.
Representing South America after Chile was knocked out earlier, the last South American country left in the team. Also, last, other than the US, the only other American team.
Yeah, Poland being the only European team actually that remains as well. There's only Asia from now on, and the United States.
Oh yeah, it's West against West.
The
Let's
good
see if
thing
Brazil
though
comes-
is that whoever wins this will face the US, so that means at the top 4 we will have at least one team that is not Asian.
Oh, yeah, good point. Looks like Lazarento comes ahead with the Brazilian ban on Hagoromo no Mai. Goodbye, we never got to know you.
100% ban rate. Fortunately for the SVs, but pretty common trend, honestly. That
Yeah.
has been the case for
Seal's
many
done again.
matches. Exactly. And we're gonna see Ice Angels a ban instantly going into Rockhill as a pick. Which is interesting, actually. I don't think... Did we see Rockhill against Singapore? I actually don't remember now. I think we did, but I'm not 100% sure.
Singapore, no, yeah. Rock Hill was chosen by Singapore actually, but it was won by Poland.
Interesting. Alright, so we'll see... I imagine we will see Lotus for this one. He's like a very good long no player. I don't know if Sillyfanger will stay. Maybe Lazarento will be staying. But as expected, Benzo is gonna join for Poland as he did last time. Hudanom is staying for now. Oh, is it Benzo switching? No, it's not. Okay. We got evaded for a moment there.
Now Brazil is pretty strong on all fronts. Maybe not SV, but both on Rice and Noodle picks. So I'm not sure what Poland's best angle of attack here is. I guess it comes down to the scores, since we have seen both of these teams play before. So if Poland has really done their research, they can compare their scores to Brazil's scores and see which ones are closest. Although, to be fair, Brazil versus Chile was a sweep, so you didn't get to see much of the map pool, but you did get to see some of it.
I mean, the same happened to Poland, right? It was a sweep as well.
Mm-hmm.
Currently waiting for Lotus to join the room here. Seems to be having some difficulties to get into the room, actually.
As soon as we
Should
have all the
happen
players.
soon.
Oh, here's a question from Barthalo. Is it because of Seal's quality SVs or are the patterns themselves too hard? The patterns aren't hard at all. Hagoromo is actually... I guess it does have some like cheeky long notes where you don't really know where the releases are, but it's definitely the SVs. It might be Seal's particular style of SVs. It's definitely very very big, a lot of teleports. Yeah, a lot of teleports and a lot of sharp movements to like keep track of. But I don't know if it's just that or if it's because it's just too hard, you know? Like I don't want to blame Seal. Like we are blaming Seal. But the only reason that Seal has a history like this is because he's willing to churn out so many of these SV maps for tournaments that he ends up being the one we throw under the bus whenever we need to make a ban fodder pick.
I honestly think that it's just the category, really. It's not Seal specifically. Like, in general, whoever ends up mapping the scroll velocity, the slider velocity map, it just requires so much practice to get used to those type of maps. It's not something you can just side read or take a couple tries until you get good at it. You usually play until you get a respectable score, let's say like a 97 or something. And in an SV map where you have to train so much and it's so hard to be consistent because there's so many rhythm changes, so many not only rhythm changes but also scroll changes. You have your nose scrolling at a certain velocity and then it just goes faster and then it stops, and you have to even sometimes memorize some parts of the maps, and that demands a lot of time, and that's the main reason why that category ends up being banned quite often. And I don't think it has to do that much with Seal, but rather with the type of map, which is more into adding a lot of those effects to give the advantage to the team that has the most amount of practice and the most amount of experience in dealing with maps that involves the kind of style in terms of mapping.
So we have managed to get Lotus into the match for Brazilian side, and they're also keeping in Lazarento. Right off the bat, it looks like Poland's taking a pretty huge lead, actually. Lazarento is not being able to keep up, only barely holding on to the S while everyone else is above 98%.
That's actually pretty weird. I'm
Isn't-
actually surprised that Silly Fanga is not playing. Yeah, as you said.
Yeah, Silly Fangirls is good on both long nose and rice maps, so...
Interesting to see that swap here. But Poland, definitely happy to see that swap, I believe. Lazarento is having a lot of troubles with this map, and those 5 chord releases are extremely hard to get good accuracy out of. And as Lazarento attempts to accuracy them properly, he overextends his presses and ends up having misses. And Hunam, although training those is not being enough to make that difference, the accuracy lead for Poland is huge at the moment. And despite Lotus' combo and performance here, it won't be any close to enough. If Poland just keeps this up, they will take the first point as we enter into the last slow gem here. They're gonna start with their own pick, and they're doing it right, because I don't think anyone really expected Poland to came on top with this pick in particular.
Oh yeah, I sure didn't, but I guess it worked out for them.
Well thought.
Well, Brazil immediately taking the... I'm trying to think of an idiom to describe this situation.
The
but
first
I'm coming
hit.
up. Sure. Taking the first hit. It's boxing now. It's a boxing metaphor.
Ding ding ding. Round 2.
Oh yeah, Lazarento saying WTF. I don't know what the rest of that means. You can kind of read Portuguese, right? What does that say?
It seems like he's a bit annoyed because he could have full combo that one, but he played not that well. Like, he played pretty poorly, he seems.
Well, it must have been the nerves then, because this is the last match before one of them gets eliminated. Hoodinum says 1 point is all they needed. Well, they might need a little more than that if they want to stay in the tournament. But at the very least, they can say that they weren't swept by Brazil.
Yeah, they can say as well that they were actually leading a match against Brazil. They were actually winning at one point.
Oh yeah.
Hey, but don't get too bad with them, because they had a good start and they could very well keep this up. You know, this could be closer than we initially expected. Actually, I think Poland, if they keep going with this long nose strat and they are forcing Silifanger out for whatever reason, then Brazil could have a bit of a problem, because
maybe Silifanger decided. Maybe
That's
Silifanger
big.
decided to have lunch after all.
Hey, that could be the case. Yeah.
Either way, looks like the Brazil is having a little bit of discussion. That's good. It's good they're thinking about it instead of just.
I think it's Eternal Drain. I think it's actually Eternal Drain. I was not reading the chat, I swear. I was just like seeing the mouse and that's like, it has to be Eternal Drain. And it is Eternal.
Yeah, I imagine the Brazilian players are quite comfortable on the speed of this pick.
More so than being comfortable, I think they are pretty aware that Poland will have issues with this map.
Yeah.
Rather than anything else. Was this banned against Singapore? I think this was banned by Singapore, actually.
Eternal Drain. I remember someone banned it for sure.
I remember that someone banned it. Yeah.
It was Thailand that banned it both of their matches, actually.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Either way, it's definitely not a very popular pick. It's only been picked twice, and it's been banned twice.
Oh, that is pretty popular. Like, 5 matches have been played only, I think, and 4 of them had this map, so...
Well,
in a way,
2 of them were banning, so I guess that's more like infamy rather than fame.
Yeah, that's a popular thing. Like, you can be unpopular.
Sure,
right?
sure, yeah. In fact, if you're going by bans, it's the second most popular ban after Hagoromo. Because Hagoromo is Hagoromo.
Interesting. Right, let's see. Oh! Okay, Hoodinum didn't have the greatest start of ever, but we'll see.
Don't think they were prepared for that.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks like
And
the
here we
opposite
go.
story from. It looks like the opposite story from last time. First of all, Silly Fangirl is stepping in for this one, subbing out Lazaranto, and the lead is immediately going to Brazil.
It's looking pretty good for them. Actually, Silifanger had a bit of difficulty there with the transition, dropping a bit of accuracy. Managing to hold the combo just fine though, and honestly, Brazil is looking pretty good for this one. Like, despite Hoodinum's full combo on this, well, I think he had the very early miss. It's almost a full combo. His accuracy is just slightly shorter than the Silifanger's, so they're gonna need some work here. They're gonna need some misses from the Brazilians if they want to come back on this. But it's not their pick, so losing this one isn't all that big anyways. They still have their own picks and they just need to win them in order to force a tiebreaker. This early into the match, pretty hard to tell. We're getting now into the delay streams here. Lotus finding the first miss on. But again, the difference is just huge at the moment. 50, maybe 60,000 points in favor of the South Americans here. And there's just misses and more misses on the Polish side here. This seems to be a pretty secure pick for Brazil.
Yeah, there go all the full combos that might have been. I don't think we've seen any full combos on this one yet, though. It's just too hard. And Silly Fangirl has been taking a little bit. There's a bad miss near the end, and there was one in the middle too. But Lotus actually is holding very strong. Stronger than Silly Fangirl at this point, which is very impressive. With a 99.4%.
The Lotus accuracy is just as mind-blowing as always. He finds a miss and another one right there, but won't really make that impact. So 127,000 points in favor of Brazil, only 19,200s by Lotus, and a really insane ratio too, 569 normal 300. That's pretty big. That's actually a crazy score.
Yeah, both players at the 960k. It's quite impressive.
Brazil showing off their strengths on this kind of maps. When the pools get harder, the maps get more intense. They'll just abuse that advantage they have with Nate and Lotus. And this time the big team is Poland. As they are good enough to keep up with the pool, they struggle a little bit to excel at any really particular map. And Brazil As soon as they find a map they're comfortable with, they know they have the advantage, a pretty big advantage actually. And this was a perfect show for them. Lotus and Nate were both 60,000 points ahead. It was not even a single man carrying, it was just both of them outperforming heavily every single one of the Polish.
Absolutely. And it's tied up 1-1 now. It's back to Philippines.
Philippines? Oh man, you have
Every time I
something with
commentate,
Philippines.
I just really like the Philippines. I think they're so strong this year, and I'm very proud, and I can't stop thinking about it. Anyway, what I meant was Poland. It's not even close.
Are we even casting Philippines versus the Philippines? That might be the case.
Oh, jeez, I don't know.
In that particular point, I imagine you will be calling that we're playing like Malaysia or something. It has nothing to do with the team.
Oh yeah, welcome. We're watching Israel versus Macau.
Yes.
I've just been commentating for too long. But we're back in the match now. Plant has restarted, and I think we have the next pick, which is the Apocalypse. Poland's still going for the long note track.
I mean, it worked the first time, so I don't see a reason why not to go for it.
Is it just me, or is Silly Fangirl stepping out again?
It seems like the long note strat is working to at least keep Silly Fanger out of the room, which is arguably a very good thing. You don't really want to have a Silly Fanger in you if you're on the opposite team, of course.
I gotta say, I don't really understand Brazil's tactics here, but as far as Poland is concerned, if it works, then it works. A point is a point.
I mean, I imagine it's going to be Lazarento here swapping Silly Fanger if he's not playing.
The Dark Dragon is okay with the 2v1, just in case it comes to that.
I will be fine as well, really.
Well, we do want a fair match though, so hopefully Brazilian player will show their head soon. There he is! Okay, so
he's actually playing
this time. Yeah, that's what I figured. I don't know why I stepped out the first time.
Okay, now that Silly Fanger is on the room, I think the chances for Poland had decreased. So, successfully decreased.
Tangible decrease. So what I'm hearing from Danny PX is that Silly is in a different setup than usual, and has I guess a bit of an offset issue, which means long notes can be heard. So I guess there is a bit of a handicap on the Brazilian side, if I had to guess.
Oh, he's playing on a TV monitor. Okay, yeah, that would make sense. The other input lag on his offset could be pretty ouchy when you're playing long notes, because the release timings get so tricky and you really need that input to be as close as the original as possible.
Well, that unfortunate kind of accidental handicap definitely doesn't feel good for the Brazilian players, but at the same time, it might make this match a lot more competitive.
But see how different things are, actually. Like, Brazil is actually using Silly Fanger even with the handicap. That speaks volumes of how good of a player Silly.
Oh yeah. We've seen Silly showing up already, even if it was just the warm-up, so I don't think this handicap is too huge. I think it's pretty easy to get used to an offset as long as the offset is consistent. But we'll see how he fares on the long notes at the very least.
It's easy to get used if you can consistently play the map, right? If the map is a bit too hard for you, then accommodating to an offset, it's impossible, pretty much.
Oh yeah, good point. There's a miss on the easy section from Nate. So that's gonna give Poland a little bit of an advantage at the beginning. Same story as the last long note map. It's not quite as huge as that though.
This could be a pretty key pick here, because if Brazil can somehow still pull ahead on this, even with all the technical difficulties behind this, they will be in a pretty good spot, because they take down one of the Polish picks, they nullify one of the long note maps in the pool, which are the main weakness apparently right now as it stands with it. So it would be like a really good win for Brazil if they can pull it off. And as we can see here, Lotus actually trading with that Dragon who had the miss. So the score gap is not going to get all that bigger. In fact, it's actually getting somewhat close between these two teams as the map progresses. We're halfway through and it's just Lotus accuracy who's keeping the team afloat. Actually, Semifinals is not that behind in accuracy either, as he's topping Hudona. But the score gap between the two is about 1,000, maybe less, due to the amount of misses that Nate has shown off. And there is another cup which will give the lead to Poland, but in the slow jam, the Dire Dragon will trade, and the accuracy is getting lower and lower as Brazil takes the lead back. Another trade between Lotus and Hudonam, but now Silly joins the party. No combos, all have been reset for the two teams. And we gotta start once more on the last quarter. The long nose get a lot denser, and the Dart Dragon starts to struggle harder as Nate drops more and more accuracy, but so is Lotus. Keeps the team afloat for Brazil, and the gap just gets higher and higher here. I don't see Poland coming back, although the lead is getting closer and closer. This misses by Lotus and the Dart Dragon, who will just trade and be even in favor of Brazil due to them being on the lead already. And as the map is about to finish, we'll see Brazil taking the first break point of the match.
You know, even with the handicap, what I'm thinking is that Silly Fangirl's accuracy was kind of lower to the level of the Poland players. But despite having bad accuracy, Silly Fangirl can still play these patterns. And it may be the case that the Dark Dragon struggles too, and that didn't like put Silly Fangirl below in terms of skill, it just kind of equalized it. And with Lotus still performing at an incredibly high level, just look at that Rainbow 300 count, then I would say that's all that Brazil needs in order to come out ahead.
I still don't get how Lotus could get such a good ratio in this kind of maps on those long nose releases. He's just so good at it, and I don't understand how can a human being release with such a proper timing. And I'm as a release player myself, I find it incredible.
Yeah, it's amazing. Both Brazilian players really showing up. And that was a break point for Brazil. They won on Poland's pick, which means that Poland might be a little scared now. Now that they see that Nate is not, his power has not been restrained as much as maybe they hoped.
Yeah, but now the ball is on Brazil. They have to pick. We'll have to see what they decide to do here. I can see any rice pick really. I think Pom Pom will make sense due to Silly's capability. He shouldn't be that big of a deal, the middle section for them. And there it is, his pump.
Great call. I definitely think this is a good choice. I feel like the bursty patterns will just overwhelm Poland in the end.
Well, we have seen that against Singapore actually. There were points where Singapore was on the lead due to those bursts in the middle. So if Singapore, who then ended up losing against Poland, had the advantage at one point or another, then the same thing could happen here, arguably. But Brazil, you know, on a probably higher scale in terms of like ability caps or ability ceilings, they are definitely a stronger team. They are a top seed after all.
The Dark Dragon doesn't seem happy about this one. Neither does Sudanam. Well, if they're both... Well, if this player doesn't like it, and if this player doesn't like it, then who's gonna carry?
Internet.
That may have to be the case.
I mean, that's probably the only way, but we don't know actually. We thought that Rockhill was also on favor of Brazil, but then it proved to be enough. So we'll see here. The mini jacks are actually hurting the Dark Dragon quite a lot.
Well, that's right off the bat. It's already down to 97%. Ooh, and the rest of the map is going to be like this, but worse. So it's not.
Brazil's going to take this early advantage due to those misses by the Dark Dragon. And the accuracies by Lotus and Silly are extremely good, although there's a miss there by Silly. And Lotus just casually doing the 99.95 thing that he was doing on group stage, right? Well, now he's doing on semifinals because, I mean...
Very good accuracy is an understatement. That is machine-like. We're going into the burst now, and Lotus is still managing to hold 99%. One little miss there, but nothing compared to the Poland side, which keeps missing over and over. Neither of them being able to hold the 99, while both of the Brazilian players still are. Looks like Silly Fangirl isn't suffering too much as far as offset issues, because still holding 99.3. I would shudder to think how well he'd be doing if he was playing with his normal setup.
Now that the middle part is over, Brazil is having a very decisive lead here. And in all honesty, this accuracy by Lotus is really scary. And the burst, as you said, not proving to be that bit of a difficulty that might push Silifanger with his handicap off. Not the case at all, as he is holding actually the best score of the lobby, I believe. Yeah.
He's slowly matching Lotus.
And that it's gonna be all the road for this map. As Dark Dragon and Hoodlum finds more misses, as well for Lotus, unfortunately on the very last minute. Brazil takes this one by 120,000 points. And that accuracy from Nate, dude, wow, 12-100. His ratio not being as good as Lotus, but not that far away, honestly.
That's actually Silifanger looks as the MVP as far as score goes of 969k. Brazil came here to win, and they're not letting one dead monitor slow.
Not at all, yep. This accuracy by Brazil, both of their players getting half the amount of regular 300s that Poland had. That's insane. That's actually such a crucial factor in general. Two teams can be evenly matched. One team can be better than the other, but in Mania, where consistency is such an important thing, if you have the ability to get good ratios, regardless of how bad your day can be, right? If you can get like to a certain degree, to a certain level, where your ratio is just consistently good, that makes such a good difference, because you might not have the best of the days, but that can only throw you so many points by missing. That you can compensate just by your ratio. If someone has poor ratio, they kind of need that good day in order to perform properly. They need to hold those calm. So when you have good ratio, you can afford to have those misses like Lotus had, and still had incredibly high score.
That's a very good point. And as a person with very poor accuracy myself and a very bad setup, I do not know how that feels.
I can tell you.
Yep.
Go ahead. After a lot of practice, when you get good at accuracy, it's so fun.
Must be nice. In any case, Poland has come out with the third long no pick in a row. Looks like they're sticking to it. They're hoping that it's... Oh, actually, we do have a sub in. I see Orso Manso playing, which I wonder if this is what they're rolling with.
I honestly think if there is one map, the handicap will definitely hurt Silifanger. When it comes to long nose, it's gonna be this one. Like time to lob, when you have like dense long nose, I think that's the issue, because you have more inputs to, so it's easier to have like that miss or that late release. So it's, you can even lock yourself if your offset is like pretty bad at one point. The offset can log your release into, like the input can log your releases, and you have multiple misses at the same time because of the densities. So
I'm
having
not super
Ursa instead,
actually, because in the last few maps, Silifanger's his hits have been pretty much right in the center of the indicator, so it doesn't seem like he's hitting early or late. They are running Ursa Manso on this one, though. I guess they're just spreading the love to the Brazilian team. I think that's everyone has played by this point.
you're correct. Yep, this Urso Manso was the only player who has not played so far. So now the full roster of Brazil has played at least a map.
Well, let's see if this gives Poland any advantage. I mean, there's no telling what happened. Maybe Nate's setup got messed up again, or maybe Nate just needed a break. Maybe Brazil just wants to test what they can get away with.
Also, for those who are wondering on the stream, Brazil is missing a star at the moment, but we have that counted, don't worry. It's going to be updated. Right now into the map, Hoodlum, wow, Hoodlum though.
That was a huge choke from Hoodlum. What just happened? Did the keyboard stop receiving inputs?
I was actually not paying that much attention. I was focusing on the star thing for Brazil, but I swapped my head a little bit. I spin my head and see the screen by Hoodlum, and I see at 92%. I'm like, wait.
No, I was watching. I had my eyes glued to it, and just it was letting go of long notes too early. Couldn't even the easy parts couldn't hit the chords. I'm guessing that must have been some sort of technical mistake, which is too bad because that's giving a huge lead to Brazil right now.
Urso is actually doing quite well. subbing Silly Fanger for him seems to be a pretty good idea. Actually, Lotus is starting to column lock a little bit, having a lot of troubles with this holds as his accuracy drops down quite a lot and the misses start to be more frequent. That being said though, the drops from Hudunum at the intro were way too much to get back into the match. I think there's just not enough time for Poland to make any sort of difference.
Yeah, I don't think Urso is playing as well as Nate would have played, but he's playing better than Hudunum and the Dark Dragon, which is what matters.
He's playing better than Lotus, man. Oh, well, now he's missing. No, he was holding the full combo. Such a great...
Rest in peace. Full combo.
But at this point, really, we see Hudo and Dark Dragon both struggling a lot on this section. Actually, the same case is for... But it's not gonna matter all that much, as they still take the point by around 90,000 points here. 95,000 points. Really good score by Urso due to combo, but the accuracy again for Lotus?
It's absolutely crazy. Look at that, 400 regular 300s. There were a bit of a miscount there for Lotus, like you were saying, the column block in that second chorus, I think, maybe the third chorus. Either way, it must feel good for Urso to come in and sub it and do so well. I'm also noting on Hudunum's screen, you see the little pit there in red on the graph. Don't know what that was, but that amounted to 33 misses, and that's not something you can come back from.
There we go. I don't know why, but this time to love seems to like make the client struggle a little bit. They generally get stuck.
The client doesn't like K-pop either. This client has a mind of its own, dude. Looks like Brazil has found their missing ghost point, and now it's showing the correct score, which is 4-1. That's 2 break points on Brazil's side, and it's their turn to pick again. Hudo is saying that his spacebar fell out. Oh my gosh.
That's actually pretty sad, honestly. I think Hudo on good shape, like without that issue, might have had a chance here to take down Brazil for that point. It would have been very hard because he would have needed like 90,000 points.
Oh man.
But it would have been way close.
Hudo's on Nate's monitor break, and he's like, that's nothing, watch this. Pops the entire spacebar out. That's crazy.
I mean, if we're gonna make this a competition to see who has the worst setup, then might as well join. I can bring up my old keyboard who's missing like 34 keys.
Oh my god. How many keys are left? That's more than letters in the alphabet.
Yep. I play with numbers. I'll let you know. I actually play with numbers when I play main.
Oh, that's interesting. It's exciting.
I play with 4, 5, 7, 8. The ones on top, right?
Uh-huh. Oh, I see on the number pad?
Yeah. I'm not using the numpad. It's just like the numbers, like the one above the R and the T, right? The 4 and the 5.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say that it's pretty uncomfortable, but I just got used to it after not having any other proper set, like any other keys that work.
Here's the next pick though by Brazil, Proto Flicker. I think it's the same tactic as previously when picking Eternal Drain, just choosing the really hard rice picks and hoping that Poland can't keep up.
This was the core jack pick, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, we gotta see Lothus accuracy then. 99.99 and...
Oh my god.
This is the kind of map
99.99! Alright, it's gone down a little bit, but...
This is the kind of picks when you have good accuracy, you just absolutely destroy this big map. Like, and that's gonna be the case for Lothus. He might have issues keeping up with the difficulty spike at the end. He might have issues comboing through this, but the ratio is gonna be like mind-blowing. So just stay and watch.
It really goes to show that when you're looking at accuracy, usually you're saying, oh, there's a difference about 1%. Maybe if it's really close, you say there's a difference of 0.1%. But for Lothus, we're staring at the last decimal digit.
Oh, that's a good
miss. Oh no. A little choke there from Lothus, but it's not too huge of a choke considering the Hudunum keeps missing. I wonder if the spacebar is still broken. And the Dark Dragon also not keeping up. Still a very good score, but it's 99.6 versus Silly Fangirl's 99.8.
You see both Lotus and Nate with the same accuracy, although Lotus has a miss, so That speaks a little bit about how good the accuracy rate is. And on the other side though, Poland is not doing bad at all. They're having both 99s, and one of them, the Dark Dragon, is only 0.2% behind the rest. But now we're entering into the heavy core jack section, where it gets a lot denser. We see 3, 2, and 6 note cores all the way through, with eventual 1, 4 that could trip some of the players. And Poland just kind of hoping for misses from Brazil to close that gap a little. The accuracy lead isn't all that huge, but in a map like this, dropping accuracy is really hard unless you start like column locking or dropping on these jacks a lot. You can get locked into a pattern. And that's kind of what's happening to Poland. It's not happening to Brazil at all, as Silly Fanger is still comboing, and Lotus' accuracy just keep getting higher for some reason. And he finds a miss after all, but that's not gonna change fate. Brazil will be taking this point, and the harder section is coming through here, but the Dark Dragon and Hudonom are the ones that get hurt the most. And as Lotus just finding misses, not having any accuracy drops at all, holding the 99.80%. He's gonna take his team to the victory here, and though Silly Fanger takes the best score due to the full this accuracy from Lotus is gonna be insane. Oh no, the full combo Silly!
Oh, those 2 misses right at the end. Wow, I was trying not to say anything about it because I didn't want to curse it, but
oh my god!
that wasn't your fault.
112.
That was just, look at that, 3,375 combo out of like how many? 3,000, I don't know, 400 notes?
Yep.
Feels bad, but it doesn't matter because if ever Brazil got the pick. Oh my god, look at that accuracy! I just saw it.
I told you, that's like 30-1 ratio. It's insane. That
Actually,
makes
30
no
to
sense.
1.
He was really close to the double digits. That makes
God.
0 sense.
Yeah, and the 5 misses are the only thing. Lotus couldn't quite keep up with the density of the core jacks. We do have our next pick though. Poland is pulling out all stops, going straight for the SV pick. I think it's a good pick for them. This is their last chance because it is match point. Could possibly be the last map they play in the entire tournament.
Lotus had more misses than 200. That's ridiculous.
No way. That's crazy.
And I believe against Chile he got a 0-200 round with like 3 misses, which is even more insane.
Yeah, that's the sort of ratio and accuracy that Poland just can't touch. But at the very least, they're going out with a bang on the big and loud indoor Kinara.
Oh, I just realized the reason why Thailand picked this. Oh my god, Lost School must be a fan of this song. I just realized, oh my god.
It looks like Hudonom is being replaced by Benzopyrene.
I think this was the case for the match in Singapore as well.
Probably because of the SVs. For a second I was thinking, did Hudonom's entire spacebar like fall behind a desk and get lost? But no, it's probably just for the SVs. Apparently Hudo's saying that he was pressing too hard on the keyboard and the keys started coming off. Oh, that's the sort of pressure they're under right now. Not to say the pressure under the fingers as well.
Yeah, don't you know that the strat, the harder you press the keys, the better the accuracy.
Oh yes, that's how it works. I'm watching right now to see which of the players know where the speedups and slowdowns are. None of them were caught off guard by that slowdown at the time.
I'd imagine swapping Usomansa for this means that he was probably practicing this quite a lot. And Lotus is just a player you can just throw everything at and he will do fine. Okay, he gets a miss right on the release. Still on the lead for Brazil.
Yeah, there was an unfortunate little miss there, but it doesn't look like any of the players are being caught off guard by the sudden slowdowns. Maybe Lotus a tiny bit, but his normal accuracy is still high enough that he's beating both of the Polish players, even with those little mistakes. Yeah, that is somewhat of a lead for Brazil, a third of the way through the map, and how much is that, like 10,000?
It's not looking good for Poland right now, but they still have the full combo of Benzo, who is currently matching combo-wise to Urso Manso, but then you see the accuracy, and there's like 2% of accuracy advantage for the whole team of Brazil. They're gonna need a couple breaks here on the SV section at the very least if they want to keep up here, if they want to somehow still be in the tournament, Poland will have to pray for big misses, and they
Oh, that
see
was pretty
those
big
for
miss.
Ursa, man. So although the same happens for the Dark Dragon, so
Ooh,
not really
yeah.
for them.
Brazil
but
is
those
making
misses-
mistakes, but they're making mistakes, but Poland just can't capitalize on it.
I don't know, man. Everyone is missing here, and Ursa is dropping
Everyone
quite a
but
lot of
Benzo.
accuracy. It's just
Ah,
oh, but Benzo misses.
That was my fault.
I mean, it was my fault too, to be honest. I was talking about him well. The score lead though got a little bit short in it here, but is it gonna be enough? I don't think so. Lotus is still way above the rest, and Lotus himself might carry the whole team once. Although Urso Manso is 1% ahead of the Dark Dragon, there's still, again, that 2% gap is still here. But now we're getting into this SV section, which is kind of complicated with the long nose on top, so we'll see
Yeah,
if
it's a bit of a
somehow
hybrid map.
there's a chance. I don't see that. There's a miss by Benzo as well. The score lead's getting further away. Poland might just be saying goodbye right now, leaving the tournament on the last match of the semi-finals, achieving a really respectable top 8 though spot. First time in history they managed to get this far, and as a top seed, Brazil will be taking this point, and with that the match 6-1 be facing the United States next weekend for the finals, for the spot on the top 4, but now securing the top 6 entirely. Well played by Brazil, and well played for Poland for making it this far.
What a match, though. It was so chaotic with technical issues on both sides, but I think Brazil proved that no matter what the issues are, they just have the consistency, the accuracy, the speed to keep up with anything Poland could throw at them. And that they really deserve this spot in the top 6. Brazil will be moving on to the finals. Next week, when we see Brazil again, they'll be facing the USA. That'll be fun, because one of them will have to be eliminated. Here's the bracket on the screen. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of cool stuff for finals week, especially with the new map pool that we're about to see in just a second. We have the winners finals with Philippines versus China. For the first time in a long time, Korea not in the winners finals, just due to I guess organizational issues. There was a win by default earlier. And in the losers bracket, we have USA versus Brazil and Korea versus the country that Thailand. Yes, the country that was just
Not
cut off
Philippines.
by
The country is not Philippines.
No, it's not. It's not Philippines. I was thinking, don't say Philippines. Don't say Philippines. Anyway, but yeah, that's all there is for the semifinals, and all there is left is to look at the finals pool, the hardest maps of the whole tournament. I'm excited. I don't know if you are.
I'm pretty excited, honestly. I mean, I still think it's unfortunate that South Korea got knocked into the down bracket, right, on the losers, because there were such a good amount of really interesting matches. China was the team instead, but now that South Korea is in there, I can expect them to stomp. So that's kind of unfortunate. But I'm definitely excited for US Brazil. That's like the match, and of course Philippines China. That's gonna be insane.
Feeling lost and out of place. Empty eyes look upon my face.
But well, that has been it for the matches of today. We only have the showcase remaining, which should be starting in a couple minutes. I think you'll stick with us here, Niv?
Yeah. I'll be here to cover the map pool showcase, to go ooh and ah at all the difficult patterns, and hopefully you guys will stick around too. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Unfortunately, I will be getting subbed, I'm pretty sure. But you'll get someone who's more knowledgeable than me, so you get... Oh wow, I actually was supposed not to press the push to talk while I was coughing, but I decided to do the exact opposite. Smart. And with that being said, I think we are ready to introduce our new commentator for this Maple Showcase. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Stupid man with us. How are you doing?
Hello. I'm doing pretty good. I'm less sick than I was yesterday, so I think I'm in a position where I can actually commentate now.
Glad you're
That's
feeling
great.
better.
Yeah, that's a good sign.
I'm glad you have you here with your extensive map knowledge because we have a lot of maps to get through.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this map pool. I know that given the teams remaining, I think all of them are top seeds, and all of them. I'm pretty proud in predicting that they'd be the exact top 6 teams. So that's always interesting, albeit in a different order, considering creeds and losers bracket. But regardless,